It's May 14th here in the center of Michigan. It's finally warmed up enough for me to do some splits. And I'm starting to go with my 2018 queens. I do not kill queens. My older queens I use for my mating program. This right here was number 30. I've got 2 mating nukes off of 30. And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can put the mating nuke next to the old colony, or the colony that has the old queen, and you can get half of the workers going into the mating nuke. But with an old queen, I really don't think she'll make it through a 3rd winter, so I'm going ahead and I moved her over here to a different location so that all the workers will go back to my mating nukes. And when I do get a laying queen, they will have more bees than the older colony, because that's what I want, because there's a good chance this could be full strength by August, September. And the way I do these, wow, they really went for that pollen patty. I gave them some pollen patty just to make sure that when I divided those frames up, just to make sure they had enough pollen. And I wasn't quite sure how many bees I'd end up with, so I went ahead and I put my insulated fillers in there. And this looks like this is big enough. I need to add more frames, but I prefer a 5-frame nuke when I'm doing my mating nuke, so it's easier to find the virgin queen in there when I'm looking for her. Most of the time I can find her right away. She'll be near the queen cell, because I always go through and I count how many queen cells I have, and that's why when I'm doing this and I have a lot of them, I spend all day checking them. But anyway, a 5-frame is easier to find a virgin queen than a 10-frame. So that's why I prefer that. But that has a lot of bees. I probably have to add some more frames. And this one's the same. We'll see how many bees are in here. See, they went for that pollen patty too. That's why it's nice to save some of that after early spring. So I'll probably do a few now and then with my old colonies. I have enough diversity with my queens. I won't do all of them. I'm going to wait for Michigan Bee Wicks to show up in about 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks I'd say he'd be here. I've called him before, but I'm not going to call him now. We don't want him to know that I want him to be here. I want him to think he's going to put me out of my business by placing a lot of colonies in my area, because he knows I have bees. And he'll probably try to put me out of business because he thinks that I'm not going to make any honey because he has too many bees here. But he doesn't seem to understand I have the capability to transport my colonies to a different location. So I'm a master electrician. I've been doing it for 23 years. It takes 6 years of experience and 12,000 hours to be a master electrician. I'm not really concerned about being a master beekeeper, because in my opinion, the master beekeepers in the United States are a bunch of idiots. They're taking their colonies to the almonds in California, placing them on the ground. The winter of 2018-2019, they killed a lot of their bees from being too cold. When the bees went down to the ground, they chilled before they got into the hive and they died. So basically, when I'm not working with my bees and keeping my bees alive, I'm keeping people alive. And I did a job this morning. It's an old house, it's a rental, and I don't know if the landlord did this years ago. It looks like it's been quite a while. But somebody had added a receptacle to a knob and tube wire, and they didn't have lamp wire long enough, so there's a joint there, and there's a joint there, and this is a different type of wire. So I know that's a joint. This is where it was wrapped around the wire for the knob and tube. You see that? That's what kills people. So I save people's lives. Just like a doctor, I save people's lives. That's why it takes 6 years of experience to be a master electrician. You got to know the proper wire size. You got to know how many amps it can handle, the temperature it can handle, the book. Well, I can show you the book. And this is the other end. You see how dry and cracked that is? And that's downright dangerous. I'll show you the book. everything that I have to know. And I don't know it all by heart. Sometimes I just have to look in the book. Here's an old code book. There. You got to know about math. You got to know codes, what things you can do, what things you can't do. That's the index there, the glossary. And this is all math. See, this is all math. So if you people think I'm an idiot, far from it. I've been self-employed for 14 years now. I'm now working at McDonald's. I am getting all these ready. I'm not making money on honeybees, but someday I will be. Right now I'm just expanding. So it keeps me busy. Either I'm taking care of my bees or taking care of electrical business, and currently right now I'm taking care of my wife. Just had breast cancer, and I do a lot of complaining, and a damn right that I should, because nobody seems to understand. Rich people are killing us, and they're making money off us while they're doing it. So, and if you think this country's a free country, you're delusional. Don't watch the mainstream media. Chris Hedges, Dr. Richard D. Wolf, those are two people on YouTube you should be watching and listening to. They're the only two people that I've found that make any sense. The rich people, the capitalists, they want us to fear communism. And they want us to think that Russia's some poor country that's backwards and everything else that's not. So you need to do your research. Stop being fed by this mainstream media propaganda. Okay? Thank you.